Tonight I want to talk to you about America's new enemy. I am speaking, of course, of Canada. That's right, Canada. Donald Trump sent a missive to Canada today. It was a lot like this.
How much postage does it take to send a letter to Canada?
Who's it going to?
Canada. It says, "Dear Canada, you."
Okay, he didn't explicitly say "F you" to Canada. What he said was worse. He said, well, listen for yourself.
Canada would be great as our cherished 51st state. You wouldn't have to worry about borders. You wouldn't have to worry about anything.
That's right. He said that Canada should become our cherished 51st state, which is not exactly like saying "F you," but a lot worse. Why pick a fight with Canada? And of course, it wasn't just today, this fixation Donald Trump has with Canada being the 51st state. It's gone on for months and months. He started out calling Justin Trudeau, the former Liberal leader in Canada, Governor Trudeau, as if he was already only governor of one of America's states. Now, we've heard a lot of bizarre ideas by Donald Trump, taking back the Panama Canal. That's sort of this level of crazy. Buying Greenland, that's sort of this level of crazy. Renaming the Gulf of Mexico, kind of this level of crazy. But Canada, being the 51st state, is a whole nother level of crazy. And I can also tell you, and I used AI for this calculation because it was so complex, the chances of Canada becoming the 51st state are less than zero. It's not going to happen. Why pick a fight with Canada? Canada. It's the kind of mentality you see in this film, Canadian Bacon.
Canada, known for ages as a polite and clean country, has, under a socialist majority, undertaken a massive military buildup on its border with the United States.
I don't like Canada. It's freezing cold.
Canada owns more of the U.S. than any other country.
The Canadians, they walk among us.
So how are we picking this fight with Canada? And why are we picking this fight? In terms of the how, we've been picking it over tariffs. So in January, the president imposed tariffs on Canada, along with Mexico and China. And then he took the tariffs down, and then he put new tariffs on, and then he took those tariffs down, and then he reversed tariffs on automobiles, and then he put more tariffs on steel and aluminum. I can't keep track, and I'm not sure the Canadians can keep track of what tariffs are on or off at this moment, but nevertheless, it is destroying commerce. It is bringing down our markets as well as those in Canada and in Mexico and elsewhere. It is needless and it is pointless and it is destructive, and it has reached the point where Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, said this about America.
I know that these are dark days brought on by a country we can no longer trust.
That's right. Canada said America is a country we can no longer trust. That is coming from Canada, one of our strongest allies. Canada, that had troops fighting side by side with us in Afghanistan and elsewhere. Canada, one of our closest friends and allies in the world. You know, when Canada is saying worse things about America than Putin's Russia, that we have really screwed things up. This president has really screwed things up. And this is the upside down place we find ourselves in, where we're picking friends with our democratic neighbors and allies, and we are alienating other allies in Europe, and we are embracing dictators like Vladimir Putin. This can't end well. America will be left with no friends, just dictators whose interests are only transactional. That is not where we want America to go. Now, you might think, and maybe the Canadians think, that in these circumstances, there is only one possible response, and that is drink heavily. But in Canada, I'll have you know, they're taking American liquor off the shelves. That's right, they're taking American liquor off the shelves. And in America, these steel and aluminum tariffs are pushing up the price of, guess what, that can of beer. So if you're going to drown your sorrows, it's going to cost you more. Cheers.